Whiteboard.fi is an online whiteboard tool for teachers and classrooms that can be used as an instant formative assessment tool, providing teachers with both live feedback and immediate overview of students' progress. The cool thing about it is that it works on any device. To begin, go to whiteboard.fi. Click Add New Class. Enter your name or the name of the class. Click Create New Class. There are multiple ways to give students access to your whiteboard. First, I could simply have students go to whiteboard.fi and join with the room code G456U. Or, secondly, copy the URL to my clipboard. A message will be displayed. URL copied to your clipboard. I can share that with my students via a website, through email, Google Classroom, Clever, Schoology, or however I choose to share the link. If students have a second device available, or if we're face to face, I could show the students the QR code to allow the students to join the class as well. Students could use their device to scan the QR code. As the students join the class, I'm able to see it live. If this was an actual class, I would encourage my students to use their real name so that I could tell who is actually completing each assignment. I can see in real time as students join. Because I'm using multiple devices, I only name my students as students 1, 2, and 3 for the purpose of this demonstration. After I toggle my whiteboard, I can see my toolbar. If you are unfamiliar with the tools on the toolbar, just hover over and the text will be displayed of what that particular tool is. Next, you have your workspace or the whiteboard. Just below the whiteboard, I can add or remove boards. And just below that, I can see my students' names and their boards. I almost forgot to mention the settings gear. From the settings gear, you have the capability to enable a waiting lobby, lock the room, enable manual save mode for students, enable manual save mode for the teacher, hide students' names, clear all students' whiteboards, save all whiteboards as a PDF, and close the room, which will kick everyone out the room. Now, if you don't close your whiteboard class, it would expire and is automatically deleted after 2 hours of inactivity. For the first demo, I will use a large grid to write on. Next, I will flatten the image, which will take everything and move it to the background. Now I will write out a few problems for my students to solve so that I can check their understanding, or I can even use it as an exit ticket. I will also send this to the background before I push it out to my students. Notice how the students' boards are still clear. I will need to push this out to my students as a background in order to have them work on it. Once I push out the board, a message will be displayed that the whiteboard was successfully pushed. And when I view my students' boards, I can see that they have in fact received what I push. I will also show you how to toggle in between your teacher board and your students' boards a little later. Now, in real time, as my students work on their boards, I can monitor their progress. Now it's time to add another board. Simply click the addition symbol. This will add a new page. For this demo lesson, I will use the circle tool to create a Venn diagram. I will copy and paste the first circle, and now my Venn diagram is ready for use. My next demo lesson will be geared toward kindergarten. I will use the insert image tool to put a picture of the alphabets. Notice my directions are not quite right. Therefore, I will use the draw tool to scratch through the word pencil and use the text tool to type the word finger. I will scroll down to check to see how well my students are doing. I could also insert a picture for my students to match by drawing lines, or have students circle the picture that begins with the particular alphabet and sound. Now that I have so many boards available, I can use them to differentiate instruction. As I mentioned earlier, I want to show you how to view your students' work without scrolling down. To do this, just click Toggle My Whiteboard. Now I can see what each one of my students are working on in real time. How cool is that? Now I want to save my students' work as a PDF. To do so, I will click the settings gear icon and go down to Save all whiteboards as a PDF. This is what the finished product looks like. Student 1, Student 2, and Student 3. Notice they always working on something different, so this is what I saved. Now, this was a quick overview of Whiteboard.fi. Now it's your time to give Whiteboard.fi a try.